Absolute Radio.
The Hometime Podcast with Bush and Richie.
With Tesco Mobile, every little helps.
The final hour of today's No Repeats guarantee. It's Hometime with Bush and Richie, 9 to 5. Monday to Friday, nothing repeated while you listen at work. And the first hour of tonight's Hometime show, and what a show we have for you.
What a firecracker.
And what announcements to make right at the beginning of the show. Let us take you back to our first show back in 2020. January the 2nd, Bush and I are sat here, and we're sat here with a big guest in the studio, a worldwide famous guest, James May.
Just hanging out with celebs. It's the show that all the celebs want to talk to.
It really is.
Isn't it?
And he was talking to us about his new show where he'd been touring around Japan, and we could share that with him.
Yeah.
And one of the things he was talking about, how he'd discovered some gadgets that helped with the syringing of ears, and you could buy them in Japanese shops. We were fascinated by it. We were all talking about it.
Love it.
In fact, Bush and I were even saying to James what a wonderful sensation it was to have your ears professionally cleaned, and not enough people had had that opportunity. Just to remind you, here's what happened.
I actually had my ears professionally cleaned out once in my life, which was it was a long time ago. I was in my late 20s, and I gradually went deaf in my left ear, and I wasn't really aware of it until I was on an aeroplane flight, and I yawned, and for like a quarter of a second, while it must have opened up the big blob of wax stuck in my ear, the engines suddenly sounded really loud, and then they were gone again, and I thought, that's odd. So I went to see the nurse, and she looked and went, and then she did the hot water syringe thing, which is fantastic.
It's amazing.
You're aware of water going into your ear, but you can't. You have no sense of it coming back out again. So you keep waiting for the water to go past your eyeballs, like in a cartoon.
Well, I'm taking your answer to this question as celebrity endorsement for
100%.
So that's great news.
That was an elaborate yes. I'll join in your
James May's earwax removal on Hometime at Absolute Radio. Well, we are pleased and very proud to announce here on the Hometime Show, after what seems like months of wrangling, we've managed to secure an ear syringing day for one lucky Hometime listener with Richie and myself, Central London, on Thursday. It's our big idea for 2020. And like I say, our boss Paul, very sceptical. I'll read you the email that's currently out on Twitter. Have a little look at Absolute Radio. He says, "Hi guys, this isn't what I had in mind when you said big things planned for the show. I'm just not sure anyone's going to go for it. Much like the show from a tip idea, is it really something people want to hear about on their drive home from work?"
Look, we know you lot, all right? We know this audience. I really hope we've got this right, and I think we have.
If we've got this wrong, this calls into question everything, doesn't it?
It really does.
Our compass is way out.
It really does. So what we need to do before we actually devise a competition for one of you to win this is actually just get some kind of idea if you do want to win this.
Yeah, before we pull the trigger on this, because this will be budget, right? Are you up for it? We're just going to test the water with this. If you are up for, if you've ever had your ear syringe, it's the best thing ever.
Oh, it's one of the greatest sensations, if not up there with the greatest sensation the body can feel.
Top three, literally top three. Let us know now.
Number one.
We're going to send this straight to our boss Paul, and then we'll have actual proof. 8, 12, 15, step into the light.
The Hometime Podcast with Bush and Richie.
Absolute Radio.
Catfish and the Bottleman on Absolute Radio 10's Prince on Absolute Radio. This Hometime show is across all 8 Absolute Radio stations. Stream us through the Absolute Radio app. You can download it for free.
And this Hometime show is the only radio show in the United Kingdom, I think actually maybe the world, offering ear irrigation as an actual prize. You guys are kind of looking a gift horse in the mouth today. We need to prove to our boss Paul that having your ears syringed with me and Richie on one midweek afternoon is a legitimate prize that radio listeners would be into.
Look, James May, first show back 2020. He's put his name to this. His name and reputation.
We were going to call it James May's earwaxing on the Hometime show, but his people haven't signed it off just yet.
They haven't, no.
But look, we just need to know whether the audience is out there and they're up for it, John.
Yes, exactly. Now, obviously, 3 minutes ago we first told you about this. Maybe there's something going on with our text system.
Must be slow getting going.
Or possibly you were driving through a tunnel and you didn't hear it properly or something. So are you interested? If you are, 8, 12, 15 to text us.
What we're going to do is print off the sheet of text and then forward it directly to our boss Paul, because he needs physical evidence that this is a thing.
I'm just rebooting the text machine. I'm sure they're going to flood in now, and we'll get that confirmation.
Absolute Radio.
They asked for a podcast. We told them to do it themselves. And here it is, the Hometime Podcast with Bush and Richie.
The rebooting of the Absolute Radio text machine appears to have worked. We are literally drowning in earwax texts.
As Richie and I stand here, behind us we have 3 desks of people taking phone calls, a bit like Watchdog or Crime Watch UK.
Dave from Cambridge says, earwaxing is on my bucket list, probably in the top 3 experiences I still have to do. Claire says, Bush, Richie, this is a fantastic idea.
Thank you.
I listen to your podcast every day, and when James May started talking about the wax removal, I made my husband listen, as he needs to get his done. This is a very important issue the nation needs to talk about.
Up for grabs on Thursday. One of you guys is going to come with Richie and I to the London Doctors Clinic in Soho, Central
I can't believe
London.
this is happening.
It's actually happening, guys. And you're going to get ear irrigation treatment. The 3 of us are. Mark says, I've always dreamed of such a great prize. Steve Prince says, yes, definitely think this will win the awards. Bring it on.
Stephanie says, this is the kind of content I want to listen to when I'm pretending to be busy at work. I hope you're both going to be performing the syringing.
Arias, are you listening? Let's go to Biz. Biz, what do you reckon about this?
Oh my God, I love it. I had it done a few years ago.
Yep.
And I need it done again because I literally am getting better and better.
Now, Biz, listen, you can help me here. I made a bold claim earlier to say that it's right up there with the top sensation the body can feel. Please confirm that for us all.
Yeah, it's a weird sensation, but you can't feel it.
That's it, and it's like being reborn because suddenly you can hear everything again. It's like having your eyes cleaned. You know, like if you watch, if you watch football on normal telly, standard definition,
Yeah.
then you suddenly watch it on, HD, and it's almost like you're there in the crowd. Is it like that, Biz?
Well, I don't like football.
Knew it.
All right, it's like going to the chemist and buying a new ear.
Is it like going to the chemist and buying a new ear, Biz?
Yeah, I'm always doing that, and yeah.
Oh, and Biz, what would you like to say to our boss, Paul, who's been incredibly sceptical about this as a legitimate competition?
No, he needs to get it done, I think, and then he will understand what it feels like and how amazing it is.
Thank you very much. We're going to get this written down as a testimonial, Biz.
Yes, thank you.
Absolute Radio.
If you insist on listening to them in your own time, then we can't really stop you. Okay, let's get on with it then. The Hometime Podcast with Bush and Richie.
Please tell your friends about this. The Hometime Show on Absolute Radio is the only radio show in the UK offering ear irrigation treatment as a prize. One lucky person is going to come with Richie and I on Thursday this week to the London Doctors Clinic in Soho for an ear irrigation treatment. If you've not had it done before, it's absolutely brilliant. And it's all thanks to the wonderful people at MirageHealthGroup.
It's going to be fantastic.
It's going to be great, isn't it? Steve says on Twitter, lads, take the earwax home for the cats afterwards if you've got one. They love it.
Are you kidding me?
What is that?
It's maybe a step too far.
Way too far.
Jan's hanging on. You like it, don't you, Jan?
Well, I think it's a wonderful thing. I had it done many years ago, but I don't have a problem. But my husband does.
Right,
and he won't have it done.
What's his name, your husband, and what's the issue?
His name is Steve, and the issue is I have to repeat myself constantly or even shout at him to be heard.
Okay, and is that Steve in the background piping up there?
It was, yeah.
Just say to him from us, Steve, can you hear properly? Do you think you need your ears syringing?
Steve, can you hear properly? Do you think you need your ears syringing? Oh,
I can hear now.
He said I can hear.
I'm not sure syringing clears up selective hearing, Jan.
Oh, no. We've been married for 30-odd years, and I know the difference.
Absolute Radio.
They asked for a podcast. We told them to do it themselves. And here it is. The Hometime Podcast with Bush and Richie.
Tell you what, we are the only UK radio show giving away ear irrigation as a prize. Actually, I think we're probably the only people in the world, let alone the United Kingdom.
I don't think it's just radio. I'm not seeing telly shows giving away that right now.
I've not seen them do that.
No one else can say it.
Since we dropped the bombshell on, was it yesterday's show that we were going to do it? The comments overnight on Twitter have been unbelievable. Marie says, I do love a syringe. Is James May going to watch? Of course, James May gave us the idea when he was in as a guest at the very beginning of the year on this show.
Yeah, and he was happy to lend his name to the whole thing, wasn't he?
Well, kind of. He has.
Martin says it's no tip show, but at least the boss is signing off on some good ideas.
Well done, Paul. Joel has sent us a GIF of Vladimir Putin applauding, which in the language of GIFs these days, that means well done.
It's a big one. And Rose Lee simply says, OMG.
Nick says, my left canal is totally blocked and is giving me jip. You guys are men amongst gods with that level of prize.
Well, look, someone's going to have it done tomorrow. Bush and I have devised a competition today.
What a treat it is as well.
To find that lucky person. Should we tell them what the name of it is and give them no more details?
Yeah, go on, just to give them the name.
The name of it, bearing in mind you're winning a syringing of your ear for your hearing. The Sound of Music.
Sound of Music.
The Sound of Music.
That came to us in a cafe about an hour and a half ago. Very pleased with that.
Don't just throw it together. So, look, if you want to be that person, if you want to play to win this prize, text us now, 81215. 81215 to text. They'll cost 50p plus your standard network rate, and you've got until, let's say, 4:20.
The Hometime Podcast with Bush and Richie.
It's time for the moment you've all been waiting for. We are playing to give away ear irrigation and ear irrigation treatment at the London Doctors Clinic in Soho. Richie and I are obsessed with the idea of getting your ears cleaned, and we thought it would be a brilliant radio competition.
This all goes back to our first show back of 2020. We spoke to James May about it. We all three of us agreed that it was the greatest sensation the human body can go through and you can feel.
Top three.
And we...
It's just top three.
It's the best. So we wanted one of you to experience that. It could be one of our two contestants we're about to speak to.
OK, let's go to contestant number one. He's Jordan. Hello, Jordan. Where are you calling from?
I'm literally on the motorway now, mate, coming home.
Coming home? Where are you going home to?
Isle of Sheppey, where I live, mate.
Give us a rundown on the motorway. What do you do? M4, M5? I love it when people do motorway lists.
No, I'm literally just going down 25, mate. And into the M20.
I don't think you go down the M25, you go round it, but let's not split hairs.
Let's not split hairs.
He's up against Martin. How are you, Martin?
Hey, lads, how you doing?
Yeah, we're good. We're very excited.
We're very, very... Are you excited about potentially getting your ears cleaned?
Oh, I'm over the moon.
He's imagining it in his mind right now. Well, let's play the competition that we've created, which is called...
The Sound of Music.
Sound of Music. Richie and I are going to ask you each questions that are related to ears.
Yep.
And hearing and listening and stuff like that.
And music.
And wax.
So it's 3 questions each. Let's see who does better. Jordan, I've got your set of questions, so let's go for it. Here's yours. In 1987, Wax released the single Bridge to Your What?
I don't have a clue.
Gonna have to push you.
I'm just going to have to make a name up, don't I?
Go on, just make something up.
Could be right.
I don't know. Heart?
It is Heart.
It is Heart. Well done.
1 out of 1. Very good.
Good start.
Second question. Nobody wants blocked ears, but who released Block Rockin' Beats in April 1997?
I don't have a clue. Wham.
Wham is an incorrect answer, I'm afraid. It was the Chemical Brothers.
OK.
Close. Sometimes, third and final question, sometimes a blocked ear can be remedied by eardrops. But what was the biggest chart hit for Teardrop Explodes?
Biggest
hit.
Rubbish.
It's a tough one.
TLC or something?
TLC, I'll take that as your answer. It's wrong. It's rewards. But look, 1 out of 3. You've got something on the scoreboard, Jordan.
It puts pressure on Martin. Let's go to Martin now. Martin, which Britpop band had a #1 album in 97 called Be Ear Now?
Blur?
No, it was Oasis. Second question. Which former Housemartin had a hit with Right Ear, Right Now in 1999?
Fatboy Slim?
Norman Cook, yes, correct. OK, this to win the ear irrigation. Who had a hit with Ear I Go Again in 1987?
Here I go again. I don't know, lads.
Come on, Martin.
Might go to tiebreak.
Don't know.
No, it's Whitesnake.
OK.
We're going to a tiebreaker situation.
OK, the question that we asked you both off air, just in case it went to tiebreak, was Vincent van Gogh cut his own ear off.
He did.
But what year was he born? Jordan, the answer you gave was 1690. Martin, the answer you gave was 1879. Vincent van Gogh ridded himself of one of his ears. He was born in 1890. So, Martin, you're closer. Very close.
Congratulations. You've won the ear irrigation with Richie and I. How do you feel? What an amazing, exciting thing to be doing.
I can't wait for this experience, chaps.
Well, listen, I know you want to obviously pull over and start texting as many friends and family as you possibly can. Best of luck, and we will see you when we get our ears irrigated. I've never ended a phone call like that before.
Absolute Radio.
They asked for a podcast. We told them to do it themselves. And here it is, the Hometime Podcast with Bush and Richie.
Thursday's Hometime, Bush and Richie on Absolute Radio. Choose your playlist to tonight's show via downloading the Absolute Radio app, and you can pick 8 different stations. We're on all of them.
Hollywood star Martin Freeman on the show tonight just after 6, and I think what convinced him to definitely come on board was finding out that we were the only radio station, the only radio show in the world, I think, giving away ear irrigation as a prize to one of its listeners. So today was D-Day. That's where we've just come from. Richie and I and the team and listener Martin went down to the MirageHealthGroup in central London for what we thought would be a fairly routine, run-of-the-mill bit of, I don't know, casual ear irrigation.
If only it turned out that way.
It didn't turn out that way. So here's the thing. Listener Martin played the competition yesterday, The Sound of Music.
Yes.
And won his way to have his ears irrigated. But we got down there and we spoke to the ear care nurse Hilary, and it turns out that Martin didn't really have that much wax in his ears. So look, this is Nurse Hilary removing the tiny, he had a tiny little bit in his ear, but it was enough to make us slightly bulk.
You ready?
Oh my word!
Look at this bit. I wasn't prepared for that.
Look at this.
When you said a little bit.
Look at that.
No.
Listen, yours is even bigger, so I don't know why you're teasing.
The one thing that we didn't think about, well, 2 things actually that we didn't think about. 1, for this to work, you need to have wax in your ears.
Yeah.
2, I've always been saying it's one of the greatest sensations the human body can feel to have it done. What I didn't anticipate is what it's like to look at if you're not the person having it done.
Well, if I close my eyes, I can still see that little bit that came out of listener Martin. We've had to give him like a 2-year ban on the show.
However, one of the rest of the team was a waxy person who had plenty.
This is the weird thing, right? So we went through, she had a look in each of our ears. Only one person of the Hometime team had enough wax that it was worth chiselling out. Your job over the next 3 songs is to try and guess who it is. If you have a look on Twitter, we've put up the odds. I'm coming in at 3-1. Richie is at 4-2, which I think is kind of the same as 2-1.
I think it is.
Producer Adem, who seems to have a picture of David Beckham there, 6-1. And producer Nick, 11-1. He's the outsider. Who had the wax? Find out soon.
The Hometime Podcast with Bush and Richie.
Absolute Radio.
It's Hometime with Bush and Richie. Thursdays, no repeat guarantee, nothing repeated 9 to 5 while you listen at work.
So we left you on a bit of a cliffhanger. We went to go and get listener Martin's ears syringed, part of a competition we were running this week on Hometime. It's the kind of content that you come to this show for. Thank you to Hilary and the team at the MirageHealthGroup in central London. They offered to do the rest of our ears after they'd looked at Martin's. And do you know what? Everyone's ears were fine apart from one member of the team, and you guys have been trying to guess who it is. We even put odds out on Twitter.
Wingnut in Enfield says, I think it is an outsider. I think it will be one of your producers. Dan's suggesting producer Nick. Bertie saying a 5 for each way on Richie. That's each way, not earwax. And Nick going odds on Richie. So there's a few names being touted.
It sounds like the public were right. It was indeed Richie. She was going to send us home because everyone's ears were absolutely clean as a whistle.
And then they looked at mine.
And then they had a look in Richie's, and she fired up a machine and it sounded like this.
All right, so remember, tell me to stop at any time.
Listen to the sound of that.
Oh, it's bubbling. What's happened?
What was it, like a little bath of hot water in your ear?
That's it, yeah.
That was other ear.
So remember, tell me to stop at any time. Oh, look at that.
Do you know what? I visited a tin mine up north for a bit, and it's a similar kind of process, like lots of water and vibrations and stuff like that. It certainly loosened something, though. Have a listen to this.
Oh, my word.
So sorry.
Oh, dear, oh, dear, oh, dear.
So grim.
So sorry. Honest to goodness. We've got a video of this, right? And we're just going to put a massive warning on the front of it.
Look, the video's there if you guys want to watch it, all right? That's your choice. You're here for the no repeat guarantee, so we're going to play some more songs because you're just trying to get through to the end of your workday. If you choose to watch the video on our socials, it's down to you.
Absolute Radio.
If you insist on listening to them in your own time, then we can't really stop you. Okay, let's get on with it then. The Hometime Podcast with Bush and
So
Richie.
look, James May set the agenda for the show that you're hearing tonight way back on the 2nd of January, discussing his trip to Japan and finding gadgets that were good for ear irrigation in shops out there. We thought we'd give it a go on the show. We've done that today. There's a video online if you want to look. That's on you. It's up to you. It's got graphic content.
Yep.
You're reacting. Carla says, I can't believe you get away with this kind of content on the radio. Well, look, Carla, we don't know we have yet.
Actually, our boss Paul said, could he have a quick chat after the show? I presumed it was just a pat on the back. And this one says, I'm not even joking. I'm cooking gammon ham peas pudding for our dinner tonight, and it's even putting me off. And I love peas pudding.
All right, noted.
Consider it done.
Hometime with Bush and Richie.
With Tesco Mobile's best ever Samsung sale now on. Tesco Mobile, every little helps.